Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the former WBO Global Welterweight Champion. It is, of course, the Wednesday Warrior, Mr. Chris Kongo. Chris, welcome back on the
Yes,
show.
thank you, bro. Love for having me back again, bro.
It's always love, my friend. So we last spoke back in February of last year. I was
Yeah,
quite surprised because at the time, obviously, you were getting ready to fight Florian Marku. We actually haven't
yeah,
done an interview since then. Of course, we've spoke.
yeah,
But let's start there. What a brilliant win that was for you in your career.
yeah. Of course, it was a wonderful win. We prepared diligently for that fight. We knew what he was gonna come, what he was gonna do. We had better sparring partners in the gym than Florian, and we ticked all the boxes, man, and we knew what we had to do against him.
Yeah, I thought you were absolutely brilliant in that fight, and obviously you reminded the public what you're all about. Yeah,
Thank you.
the one thing I didn't want to happen after you won that fight was for your career
Mhm.
to stall, for you to maybe lose momentum. Would you say your career did stall after that or not? I know you boxed twice since then.
Yeah, I mean it did because why I say that is because I was hoping for another big fight after that, but that didn't happen, and I was just promised a lot of things that didn't come to pass. And yeah, we when this opportunity come about, I had to take it, man, or I probably would have been out for even longer, So that was the best bet for me to take the last minute calls. But you know me, I stay ready, and yeah, it was a good to get back in there again. So
And yeah, obviously the reason I called you the Wednesday Warrior is because your last two fights have been on Wednesdays. Um,
Wednesdays, yeah.
that's it. That's it. One at Wembley, and
Hmm.
obviously one in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia. So yeah, you didn't
Yeah,
really have to get out of first gear in both of them wins against lower level opposition. How do you assess
yeah.
those two fights in terms of career progression for yourself? They were just tickovers, I'm guessing.
Yes, they were both tickovers, but I think for me the main thing was getting the rounds in, being able to just do the rounds again and just keep the body in good shape and in good nick. So, for example, because I've had them two fights now and I've been staying ready and been staying busy, when I'm in the gym, I'm looking a lot better. I know I'm still getting better and still improving, and I don't have to worry much about my weight. I don't have to worry about that because I know I boxed just a couple of months ago, and I'm ready to go again.
And again, I don't want to push too hard with this one, but what? I've got no idea, absolutely no idea. But what
Mhm.
was the payday like in Saudi boxing on a Wednesday? Was it a good payday, or was it more about throwing your name in the hat for future fights out there?
It was more of throwing my name in a hat for future fights. It was more of staying busy so we can look very good against the next opponent. And we've seen it with loads of fighters. When the fighter's busy, he looks at his best and he looks at his A game. We've seen it with the fighters even at the top stage. Look at Daniel Dubois. He's been busy. He looks his best. When AJ was busy, he looked his best. There's some people who are saying they never seen AJ like that against the Ngannou fight and the Otto Wallen fight. People saying they never seen AJ like that. But look at him now because he's kept himself busy. So it's all about activity in this game.
And yeah, obviously you do finally have a very meaningful fight signed and sealed, which is great. I'm sure you're over the moon. May the 10th in Nottingham, you'll be boxing on that Kakachi Wood undercard against Owen Cooper. What do we
Yeah.
know about Cooper, Chris?
He's only had one test, which is Echo man, and he's failed. It was a good fight. He was actually up going into the last round,
Which is
but
crazy.
which is crazy. And then he got stopped in the last round. I think Echo was only up by a round or two for me. That's how I see it. As I thought Echo was only up by a round or two, even though he did get knocked down, which was a 10-8 round. But it was a good fight. They even had that as one of the British boxing world. I don't know if it was one of the fights of the year, but it was a great quality fight. He can fight, he can box, and yeah, let's see what he brings on the night. But whatever he brings on the night, I'll have an answer for 100%.
You see, I was at his fight with Ethan James. Again, that was a great fight. I mean, that was kind of his coming out party, but I get what you're saying.
Yep.
Ethan James isn't someone with the reputation of an Echo Esserman. I understand what you're saying. But again,
Yes.
Owen Cooper was the underdog. He pulled off a great win. And like you mentioned, he lost that fight to Echo Esserman. You both obviously have shared the ring with Echo Esserman, both coming up short. Can anything be taken from that aspect at all?
From his point of view, for myself, I can take a lot of things from that. He was doing well. There's a lot of mistakes that he makes, and I just have to go there and exploit it for you guys, so you guys can see. I think he's still a bit inexperienced. This is a step too soon for him, I think, personally. And we've seen it with the Echo Esserman fight. When he stepped up, he didn't just get beat, but he got stopped in the last round. And I think it's a big step up for him. But he took the challenge, And yeah, there was two names given to me, and he was the perfect opponent for me.
And also, how do you see your fight playing out, coming up here? Obviously, I'm going to just say what I think. I honestly feel like you'll have too much for him. I feel like your jab will be important in this fight. Obviously, you don't really want to, allow him to easily close the distance. We know that he can set a good tempo, but he doesn't have your ring intelligence. I think stylistically it can be a fun fight, Chris, but you've dealt with a very aggressive man coming at you very well when you box Marku, and I don't quite think that he's on Marku's level. That's just my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, I know people that kind of shared the ring with him and Marku before. Marku is definitely the harder puncher. Marku definitely probably has the same sort of pressure. He brings the same sort of pressure as Owen Cooper. We know that, but it's about being smart in there, and I'm just going to go and just be as smart as possible. And I know I'll get the victory. And now you're going to see a lot more in this fight. You're going to see me boxing, but also you're going to see me start stepping up the pace myself like I did with Marku and start pressing a bit here and there.
Yeah, I'm loving that. I love that. A win here for you, Chris, which I'm sure is the only thing you can envision. What would you want to push on to next? I know that I don't want you to look too far ahead, but ideally, you've been frustrated before after picking up a win and not really, not because of yourself, but you haven't been able to push on to what you'd like to push on to. Do you have any thoughts about the future?
Yes, always. And obviously, the main thing is Owen Cooper first, but after that, I'm calling out some names aggressively. You're going to see. Don't worry.
Okay.
You'll be surprised as well.
Okay, so we might see a Derek Chisora when you're pulling out portraits in the ring of different fighters.
Yeah, 100%. You might see that. You might see if there's a fighter ringside, might get called out. You just never know.
Wow. Okay, there we go. I'm looking forward to this.
I'm gonna be unpredictable for this one.
Okay, I like it. I'm gonna be unpredictable with this next question. Completely random, but who do you have in this? This Eubank Benn fight that we're going to be seeing in April.
Good fight. I think Eubank, mainly for his size, mainly for his ring experience, mainly for him being active, wins for me. Conor Benn hasn't been as active. He's had 3 fights in 3 years. He's been battling with his situation. He's boxed at super welter and didn't look too good, but he got the win, which is the main thing. And I just think Eubank may be too much for him.
Yeah, I think I share that opinion, to be honest with you, Chris.
Hmm.
Just before we let you go, my friend, we've whizzed through everything, really. If you've got any closing words to the listeners, like I say, it's been just over a year since we last had you on, which is a shame. We should have had you on sooner, but great to have you on finally, and we won't leave it this long next time.
No doubt. I'm sure we're gonna speak after the phone, but to all the listeners, this is Chris Kongo's year, and we're coming with more and more victories.
We absolutely cannot wait, Chris. We really cannot. Like I say, it was fantastic seeing you beat Marku. I can't wait to see you pick up another win here and push on. Listen, Chris, as always, the pleasure's mine. Thanks for your time and best of luck for May 10th, my brother.
Thank you. Appreciate it.